We told you about this breaking news just a few minutes ago, the massive shakeup at Trump Tower. Already, President-elect Donald Trump naming Vice President-elect Governor Mike Pence to run his transition team, all out replacing New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. And we have this major development. Mr. Trump is telling the Wall Street Journal he is open to keeping parts of Obamacare in place. Here to break it all down for us, because it's breaking right now, is Chris Hahn, a syndicated radio host and former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer, and Ron Nehring, a Republican strategist and former spokesperson for Senator Cruz's presidential campaign. What do I tackle first here? Let's start with the Christie news. Ron, what do you make of this? Because your guy, Ted Cruz, ran against Chris Christie as well as against Donald Trump, and now it appears that that loyalist portion of it, he's still going to be part of some point in the team, right? But what do you make of the fact that he got the rug ripped out from under him by Donald Trump today?
Well, I think that this transition team effort is moving from something which was purely theoretical into something that really has to come together. Clearly, Vice President-elect Pence is going to have a major role in this administration. He might be the most powerful vice president in the history of the party, of the country, based upon, different strengths and weaknesses of both Donald Trump and Mike Pence. But this is not something that's particularly unusual. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, when he was Vice President-elect, he played a major role in the Bush transition efforts. So I don't think this is something that should be entirely unexpected. But they have a big job. They have only about 10 weeks to put together an entire presidential administration, and they're a little bit behind, so there's a lot of work that they have to do. But Mike Pence is a very capable person, and I'm sure that he'll do a good job.
Something like 4,000 administrative jobs need to be filled. But, Chris, what do you make of this? And it's not so much that it's Mike Pence. Of course, many vice president-elects have been named to the head of the transition team. It's the fact that perhaps Chris Christie, according to Charlie Gasparino's reports a week and a half ago, that he would be tainted by any conviction of his top aides in Bridgegate, the shutting down of the GW Bridge, and that's what we got.
I wouldn't read too much into this. I mean, from all I know of Donald Trump, he's a very loyal guy, and he's very loyal to people who are loyal to him. And Chris Christie was probably one of the most loyal people to Donald Trump early on after he ended his own presidential run. So this could just simply be a traditional thing. I mean, like he said, George W. Bush did the same exact thing.
No, it's not, Chris. He said during the primaries, Donald Trump said, come on, Chris Christie knew about the shutting down of the bridge. I mean, there's that famous soundbite. It's on tape. I'm just saying, Donald Trump is looking like more of a rational statesman to some people who were worried that he would just simply hand out favors to people that maybe shouldn't be getting them.
He absolutely has to look that way right now. He's the President of the United States elect, and it's an awesome responsibility. And that weight lies right on his shoulders, and I think it changes a person, and I think it's changed him already. Thank God.
Ron, you were on the campaign with Senator Cruz, as I mentioned. What's your best advice to a group that's going through, if not an autopsy, a defibrillation, and that's the Democratic National Convention and the Democrats overall? You're looking at a group that really has to look inward and figure something out here, which I'm sure that the Cruz campaign did as well.
Yeah, I think that both parties, both on the Republican side and the Democratic side, have to take a hard look and learn the real lessons coming out of this. Remember, Donald Trump is still behind in the popular vote. The Democrats will have won that. That's not a small accomplishment on their part. But this race was won in the Midwest. And if you take a look at the counties where Donald Trump exceeded Mitt Romney's performance the most, it runs from Maine down to Kentucky and then from Kentucky all the way up to North Dakota. Those are areas which don't look like California. The Democrats did great in California. Hillary Clinton won this state of California by 28 points, a historic high. But that approach of treating America like it's California does not work and does not produce an electoral college victory.
I got 10 seconds,
and that's
Chris.
a big problem.
Chris, answer that.
You know what? The Democratic Party needs to look deep inside itself and understand how to keep that Obama coalition together. They didn't get it this time. They're going to have a long winter unless they figure out a way to pull those people in. I think putting Congressman Ellison at the top of the DNC might be a good start.
We'll see. Chris, thank you very much. Chris and Ron, always a pleasure. Ron Nehring and Chris Hahn.